So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Guys, so there's been a lot of debate over the last week or so about this Terence Crawford, Errol Spence situation. A lot of people think that Terence Crawford should cave in and just take a 60-40% split. What do you guys think? What do you guys think should happen in order to get this fight? Because obviously me and many boxing fans want to see this fight badly. And unfortunately, we just don't seem to see any light at the end of the tunnel. We don't seem to be getting this fight. And it's kind of really frustrating us. It's getting us angry. It's getting us frustrated that we're not getting to see this fight. You know, I think it's a monster fight. I think it's a great fight. But it's a fight, unfortunately, that we're not getting to see. And it looks more and more unlikely when you hear these guys speak that we'll get this fight. And that would be a damn shame. Damn shame that we don't get to see probably the biggest fight in world boxing in terms of where these two are pound for pound, how good people rate them. It would be an absolute robbery to the boxing fans if we don't get this fight. Now, I've looked into it. And do I think that Terence Crawford should cave into 60-40? No. I think he should be getting 50-50 just because of the things that I mentioned. Now, people talk about revenue. Here's the thing to all the Spence fans that to keep talking about revenue and keep talking about the pay-per-view numbers that Spence keeps doing. We know that Terence Crawford's making between $4 to $7 million a fight. 4 to 6 to 7 million we know that he gets guaranteed per fight, right? I would want to know what Errol Spence is earning. Because let me tell you something. I'm pretty certain he's not earning more than $10 million a fight. I'd be very surprised if he is. And the crazy thing is that we never, like with Crawford, we get to hear what his purses are. We very rarely get to hear what Errol Spence is earning for his fights. I would like to know what he earned for Garcia. I would like to know what Errol Spence earned for Sean Porter, what Errol Spence earned for Mikey Garcia, right? Because it's all right going around and saying that I deserve a 60-40 split, 70-30 split. But a lot of those guys that commanded that, like Mayweather was earning a lot more money than Pacquiao. We know that. Forget the pay-per-view numbers. He was earning more money, and that's what it goes down to. It's not about what pay-per-view numbers you're bringing, how big you are. Because at the end of the day, it's about what you're earning. If Crawford is earning $4 to $7 million a fight, right? And Spence is earning $20 million a fight, then I can understand Spence saying that. And I would actually agree with Spence. The problem is I don't think Spence is earning anywhere near that kind of money. And I think Spence is earning about the similar to Crawford, if maybe just a little bit more. I don't think he's earning that much more. So the question then really is that why does he deserve a bigger slice of the cake when he's going to earn more money at 50-50 than he's getting paid now, right? Fighting all the other guys that he's fighting, and he's not really earning more money than Crawford. So forget what Spence is bringing to the fight. That's irrelevant. The fact is, people say, well, oh, Crawford's ESPN are losing money. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant where they're losing the money. The fact is, Crawford's going to say, I'm earning $4 to $7 million a fight. Why? And now I'm fighting Errol Spence, which is a tougher assignment, which is a bigger fight. I should be getting paid more, right? It's not about what you're bringing in terms of pay-per-view revenue. Terence Crawford is okay with a minimum guarantee. He's okay with earning $4 to $7 million a fight. You know, if Spence isn't earning way more than that, then there's a problem there financially, because Crawford's going to say, I'm earning that much money a fight. I'm not desperate, right? Errol Spence... A lot of people say, well, Terence Crawford's getting paid that much money, but he's doing it at a loss. What makes you think that they're not, what the money they're paying Errol Spence, they're making a huge profit? What makes you think that they're making a huge profit? If Errol Spence is earning what people say he's earning, I guarantee you, Fox and Showtime, whatever broadcaster, they're televising Spence's fights, they're not making a lot of money because Spence isn't that big a draw where he deserves $10-12 million. He's not. And he's not bringing in that kind of revenue either, where, you know, the broadcasters are going to be making a loss. Because Errol Spence isn't doing over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Errol Spence ain't even doing 500,000-600,000 pay-per-view buys from what we know. It's 300,000 to like 250 to 350. He's not doing any more than that. So that's according to the reports that we hear. So, but with those numbers, if he's like, I don't think he's getting paid more than $10 million, by the way. I'll be very surprised. I might be wrong. I don't know, because they don't release the numbers from Al Haymon fighters. We don't really get to know what they're earning. But I'd be very shocked if he's earning way more than what Crawford's earning. I'd be very shocked if he's earning, what, $15-16 million a fight. I don't think he is. He might have done for the Mikey Garcia fight, but that was a one-off and that was a big fight. I'd be very shocked if he's earning that kind of money for Crawford or for Danny Garcia or Sean Porter. Just because if he is, then Showtime or Fox, whoever, like I said, is broadcasting his fights, is making a huge loss, because his pay-per-view revenue is not bringing in that much money where they're going to be able to pay him that kind of money. Simple as that. It's fact. It's fact. So all of the Spence fans that are saying that Crawford's making a loss for ESPN, well, so is Errol Spence if he's getting paid the money that you're telling me he's getting paid, because Errol Spence is no big pay-per-view draw. That's for that he's not done over 500,000 pay-per-view buys. Mike Tyson did what, 1.5 million, 1.6 million against Roy Jones. That's a draw, right? Errol Spence is what, 300 to 250. That's not a draw. That's just, you're probably breaking even for the broadcaster. And if Errol Spence is earning the money that they say he's earning, which I don't think he is, then they're making a big loss. So, because if they're paying him $10-12 million, well, they have to pay the Garcia, they have to pay Porter, and they'd be earning good money as well. So that means they'd be paying the fighter, what, 18 million or something, and that'd be a huge loss for the broadcast. They're not going to be making that revenue back through pay-per-view sales. I don't think they are anyway. Maybe they are, maybe they are, but there won't be a lot left over, once we have all the marketing costs and all of that. There's a lot of other costs. They'd be making heavy losses, man. They'd be making losses for sure. So I wouldn't, like I said, me personally, I don't really, this 60-40 and 70-30, because I don't really think Spence is that big a draw. As I mentioned prior, he might be a little bit bigger draw than Crawford, but like I said, Crawford's earning between $4 to $7 million. So if you're saying 70-30 split, what's going to be his purse? Because if his purse is $4 to $7 million, then that's not good enough, because Crawford's already earning that. So you're going to have to pay him at least $10 to $15 million for that fight, right? Because he deserves at least double what he's getting paid now, right? And, who's going to pay that money? Who's going to pay that money? Because if they're paying Crawford $10-12 million and they're paying Spence $20 million, that's $32 million. Neither of these guys are going to be able to generate what will the fight do? 500,000-600,000 pay-per-view buys max, I believe. I don't think that any of these guys are going to be able to draw bigger numbers than that. And is that going to be able to recoup the money that they're going to pay these two? I don't think so. I think that pay-per-view would be a loss. So when Spence fans keep going on about the pay-per-view generated, this, that, how much is Spence actually earning for his fights? Because I don't think he's earning way more than Terence Crawford, right? And a lot of you keep saying Terence Crawford's making a loss, right? Well, I don't think Spence is going to be far off. I think Spence isn't going to be making a huge profit for his broadcasters either, with the numbers that we know that are being thrown around that he does on pay-per-view. So to be perfectly honest with you, I do think it's a 50-50 fight, because I don't think there's a lot in it. However, I am coming to the thought that Terence Crawford should just accept 60-40, believe in himself, beat up Errol Spence, and then get him to, get that same split in the rematch. But I think if Terence Crawford believes in himself, even 60-40 is going to be a big purse. I think it's an ego thing with Spence. I don't personally think he deserves it, just because, like I said, I think Crawford's more accomplished, and I don't think he's earning a lot more than Terence Crawford, if I'm perfectly honest with you. And if there's proof, if there's Spence fans that know he is, and there's legitimate articles proving that Spence is earning a lot more money than Terence Crawford, which I have my doubts about, because that's what it comes down to, right? If I'm earning $4 to $7 million a fight, for example, with Crawford, you can't tell me I'm going into a fight with, Errol Spence and you're expecting me to take the same amount of money. That's just not going to happen. That just doesn't work that way. It's just no one's going to do that. No one's going to take same amount of money to fight a guy that's deemed the biggest fight of Crawford's career, a tough challenge, when that's supposed to be his big. No one's going to be shortchanged like that. You know, no one's going to be shortchanged like that. You know, like I said, if Spence isn't earning way more money than Crawford, then we have a problem, because Crawford's already earning that money. So you offering Crawford $6-7 million isn't going to do it, because Crawford's already earning that. He's already earning that money. So what are you offering him that he's not already earning already? This is the problem. This is a problem that, you know, Errol Spence keeps going on about, that I'm the big dog and 60-40, 70-30. But what are you earning by you saying that? Because I would expect if Spence has that kind of ego, that Spence is earning about $20 to $25 million a fight. That's what, that honestly, because if he was earning that kind of money, right, then I would say, fair enough, you know, he's earning way more than Crawford and he deserves that. But I don't think he is. And that's where the problem lies. I think both of them are earning around a similar kind of money. I don't think Spence is earning way more money than Crawford. And that's the problem. Like, all right, if Crawford's earning $5 million a fight and Spence is earning 7-8, that's barely a lot more. You know, it's not considerably more, a couple of million here and there, when, you know, he's right. He's earning as much as you, really. And bearing in mind, Crawford's fought fighters that were seemed more past their best and not the names that they were in their primes, right? Imagine if he had fought Amir Khan 8 years ago. Imagine what the pay-per-view numbers when he fought Amir Khan, who was the biggest name he really fought, was 150,000 pay-per-view buys, right? When he fought Postal, it was 50,000. Now imagine if that was Amir in his prime, right? Imagine the pay-per-view numbers then. That might have been 350. Let's not forget, Spence fought guys in their prime. Like, Garcia was not really in his, he was more heading towards the back end. But, you know, Mikey and Porter were more in their prime. And that's why those fights probably did better numbers. Whereas Amir was always seen as a guy that was at the end of his career. So, if, like I said, Crawford's not had the rub of the green, he's never had the challenges that would be, and yeah, he still did. I think 150,000 with Amir Khan's not bad, because, like I said, Amir was past his best. You know, like I said, a fresher Amir in his prime, that might have doubled, maybe tripled that. So let's look at it. If Terence Crawford fought Keith Thurman, what would the pay-per-view numbers be? Terence Crawford fought Danny Garcia or Sean Porter, what would the pay-per-view numbers be? Then you've got to judge it, you know? Because Terence Crawford hasn't, like I said, Amir was a big name, but he was a faded fighter. You know, he was a faded fighter. So again, like I said, I think it's hard to judge Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, should he accept the 60-40 split? I'm getting to the feeling if this fight's going to happen, then maybe he should. And just, like I said, beat up Errol Spence. Because listen, if Errol Spence keeps going on like this, there's going to be a lot of neutral fans like myself that are going to be picking him to win. Because we're thinking to ourselves that if Errol Spence is doing this to Terence Crawford now, imagine if he becomes in the position of power like a Canelo or Floyd. Imagine what he'd do then. Imagine what he'd do then. He'd start saying 80-20. And then here's the other thing. If Errol Spence has that belief against Manny Pacquiao, he deserves 10% of the pot then. Because when we talk pay-per-view numbers, when we talk the money they've earned, when we talk all of that, Pacquiao's on another level to Spence. So again, I think it should be a 50-50 fight. But, you know, I think it's getting to the point where Crawford may have to take 60-40 just because Spence's ego right now isn't going to cave in to anything else. And I think he's not desperate, but I think Crawford's a man of his word. I think Crawford's stubborn guy. I don't think he's going to take anything less than 50-50. So that's why I don't think we're going to get this fight. Because I don't think Spence is going to cave in, and I don't think Crawford's going to cave in. I think Crawford's going to be like, no, all right, I don't want it then. Let me move on. And I think that's what it'll come down to. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think should happen? Leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.